It was a cold evening. The wind was strong, and the city lights sparkled in the distance. Inside a large luxury hotel, everything was shiny and perfect. The floor was clean like glass. The walls had gold designs. Rich people walked in and out with smiles and expensive clothes. Then a front door opened slowly. A black elderly woman stepped inside. She wore a clean but simple coat. Her hands were shaking a little from the cold. She held a small bag close to her chest. Her shoes were old but polished. Her face looked tired but kind. She walked carefully to the front desk. "Good evening," she said softly. "I'm here to meet someone. My son. He told me to wait in the VIP lounge." The lady at the front desk looked at her from head to toe. Then she laughed a little and whispered something to her coworker. "The VIP lounge?" the young woman asked, raising one eyebrow. "Are you sure? That room is only for special guests." The elderly woman nodded. "Yes. My son asked me to wait there. He made all the arrangements." The young woman gave a fake smile. "Just a moment." She turned away and whispered again to the other staff. They all stared at the woman and laughed quietly. One of them rolled his eyes. Another shook his head. After a minute, a manager in a suit walked over. He looked annoyed. "Ma'am," he said in a cold voice, "you can't be here. The VIP room is for high-class guests. Please leave this area." The elderly woman looked confused. "But my son told me to wait here. He said everything is prepared." I don't care what your son said," the manager interrupted. "You don't look like you belong here." The words hit her like a slap. Her hands tightened on her small bag. "I just need to sit and wait," she said, trying to stay calm. The manager snapped his fingers. A security guard came over. "This woman is disturbing our guests. Please remove her from the lobby." The security guard frowned but followed orders. "Ma'am, come with me." Guests in the lobby turned to look. Some took out their phones and started filming. No one helped. No one said a word. They just watched. The woman didn't fight. She stood up straight, wiped a tear from her eye, and walked slowly toward the door. Outside, it was freezing. She stood by the hotel wall, trying not to cry. Her hands were red from the cold. Her small bag fell from her hand, and she bent slowly to pick it up. Suddenly, a black luxury car pulled up. It stopped right in front of her. The back door opened, and a tall man stepped out. He was wearing a sharp black suit. His shoes were shining. His eyes were serious. He looked around the entrance, then froze. "Mom," he said, his voice full of shock. "Why are you outside? What happened?" She looked up and tried to smile. "It's okay, baby. They didn't want me inside." He looked down at her hands, then at her bag, then at the front door of the hotel. His face changed. He didn't ask another question. He turned toward the hotel and walked in like a storm. The hotel doors flew open as the man in the black suit stormed in. His eyes were full of fire. Every step he took was strong and full of purpose. People inside the lobby turned to look. The front desk staff stood up straight. The manager who had insulted the elderly woman earlier quickly fixed his tie. Something felt different now, something serious. The man walked straight to the front desk. "Who told my mother she couldn't wait in the VIP lounge?" he asked, his voice calm, but cold. The young woman behind the desk looked nervous. I didn't know she was your mother, sir. She didn't look like." "Didn't look like what?" he asked sharply. She froze. The manager quickly stepped forward. "Sir, please calm down. We didn't know who she was. We were only following hotel policy. The VIP lounge is only for important guests." The man looked at him with sharp eyes. "And you decided she wasn't important, just by looking at her." The lobby had gone silent. All the guests were listening now. Some were filming. The air was tense. "She told you she was waiting for her son," the man said, his voice steady. "She told you she had permission. And instead of checking, you threw her out. The manager's face turned pale. We were just doing our job. The man took a deep breath and stepped back. Do you even know who I am? He asked. The manager looked confused. No, sir. Should I? The man pulled out his phone. He tapped the screen, then turned it around. It showed a news article with his face on it. Marcus J. Carter, owner of Carter Luxury Hotels. The manager's eyes widened. The staff gasped. I own this hotel, Marcus said. I own this entire chain. And the woman you threw out, he pointed toward the glass doors. That's my mother. No one spoke. The silence was heavy. You didn't even ask for her name, Marcus continued. You judged her because of her clothes, her skin, her age. And now, everyone will know how your hotel treats people. He looked around the lobby. Where's your general manager? A tall woman in a black blazer came running. Mr. Carter, I'm so sorry. Too late, he said. Tell the staff involved to clock out. Immediately. I want full names, full reports. And tell security not to block the media. Let them film. Let the world see the truth. The front desk staff lowered their heads. The manager looked like he wanted to disappear. Marcus turned and walked back outside. His mother was still standing there, her eyes wet. I'm so sorry, Mom, he said, hugging her gently. She smiled softly. You don't have to do all this, baby. I'm okay. No, you're not, he said. You were disrespected. That's never okay. Not for you, and not for anyone. He helped her back inside the hotel. This time, everyone moved out of the way. Guests stared in silence. Some even clapped. Others lowered their eyes in shame. Marcus led her straight to the VIP lounge. The room was large and beautiful, with soft chairs, golden lights, and a view of the city. A waiter rushed over and placed a warm drink on the table. His hands were shaking. She sat down slowly, looking around. I've never been in a place like this, she whispered. You belong here, Mom, Marcus said, more than anyone else. He sat beside her, holding her hand. My whole life, you worked hard. You cleaned other people's homes. You walked in the rain just to get me to school. You believed in me when no one else did. And today, they treated you like you were nothing. She looked down, her voice quiet. I'm just happy to see you doing well. Marcus smiled, but there was still pain in his eyes. I'm not just going to fix this for you, Mom, he said. I'm going to fix it for every person who was ever made to feel small. Outside the lounge, the hotel buzzed with tension. News vans pulled up. Reporters asked questions. Videos from the lobby were already spreading online. Marcus stood up. He looked at his mother. Wait here. I have something to do. He left the lounge and headed to the top floor, toward the boardroom. Something big was about to happen. Marcus stood in the boardroom on the top floor of the hotel. The windows stretched from floor to ceiling, showing the city skyline. The room was quiet, but the tension was strong. Around the long table sat the hotel's board of directors, powerful people in expensive suits. But now, no one looked powerful. They looked worried. A large screen on the wall showed video clips from earlier that evening. The moment the staff laughed, the moment the manager called security, the moment Marcus's mother was pushed outside, the video had already gone viral. Millions had seen it. Marcus stood in front of the screen. His voice was low, but strong. My mother was treated like dirt in a hotel that carries my name. One of the board members cleared his throat. Mr. Carter, we are deeply sorry. This does not reflect our values. Marcus turned to him. If that were true, it wouldn't have happened. No one replied. He pointed to the screen. She came in kindly. She didn't demand anything. She simply said, my son asked me to wait in the VIP lounge. That's all. And what did she get in return? Silence. She was judged, mocked, humiliated. And why? Because of how she looked. Because she didn't fit their idea of VIP. He paused. Do you know what she told me growing up? Everyone listened. Marcus looked down for a second, then back up. His voice was softer now. She used to say, "You may not have money, but you can always have respect. Give it to others, and don't ever be afraid to ask for it yourself." He smiled a little, but it didn't reach his eyes. My mother cleaned houses for 20 years. She worked 3 jobs. She gave up meals so I could eat. When I got sick, she stayed awake all night, holding my hand. She is the reason I built this empire. He paused again. And tonight, she was treated like trash by people who work for me. One of the directors stood up. "We'll fire the staff involved immediately." Marcus nodded. "Yes, that's already being handled. But this goes deeper than that. This is not just about one woman. This is about the culture we allowed in this hotel." The room stayed quiet. He continued, "How many other people have been turned away? How many voices were ignored because they didn't look rich enough or important enough? My mother is not the only one." He looked at the board again. "We will change. From the top down. Training, leadership, hiring, everything." Another director asked, "What about the press? The news is spreading fast." "I hope it spreads faster," Marcus said. "Let the world see it. Let them know we are not hiding it. We are facing it." He turned off the screen. Then he picked up a piece of paper and placed it on the table. "This is a new policy. Respect is not just expected, it's required. From now on, every guest who walks into any Carter hotel must be treated with kindness and dignity. I want signs in every lobby. I want cameras, not to catch guests, but to hold staff accountable." He took a deep breath. "I'm not asking for this. I'm demanding it." The board members nodded slowly. They knew this wasn't just business, it was personal. Marcus left the boardroom and walked back down to the VIP lounge. His mother was still sitting quietly, sipping her tea. She smiled when she saw him. "Did you fix everything, baby?" she asked softly. "Not yet," he said, kneeling beside her. "But I'm starting." He looked into her eyes. "I want to tell people your story. I want them to know what you did for me. I want them to understand that you are the reason this hotel exists." She touched his cheek. "You always were a good boy. You just forgot to shave today." He laughed gently. "I had to run out as soon as I saw that video. You looked so cold, so alone." "I wasn't alone," she said. "You came." He held her hand again. "Next time, you'll walk through those doors, and everyone will stand to greet you. They'll know exactly who you are." Outside, news cameras rolled. Reporters asked questions. People across the country were already sharing their own stories of being disrespected, of being ignored. Marcus's voice from the video played again and again online. "No one treats my mother like this," and walks away. But what he was about to do next would change everything. By the next morning, the video had reached every corner of the internet. News channels were talking about it. Social media was flooded with comments. Hashtags like #RespectHer, #CarterHotels, and #HisMotherHisBride were trending around the world. People were angry. People were touched. And most of all, people were watching. Marcus didn't wait. He knew silence would only make things worse. So he stood in front of cameras, beside his mother, and told the world the truth. "This is my mother," he said. "She is the reason I am who I am. And yesterday, she was disrespected in a hotel that bears my name. That is not just my failure. It is a failure of our system. And it ends today." The press conference was simple. No big stage. No background music. Just a son and his mother. "I've already fired the staff involved," Marcus said. "But that's just the beginning. We are launching a full review of every Carter hotel. Every report of discrimination, every complaint will be opened and reinvestigated. This won't happen again. Not to anyone." His mother, sitting beside him, quietly held his hand. She didn't say much, But the tears in her eyes said everything. Reporters asked questions. "Mrs. Carter, how did you feel when they kicked you out?" She paused. "I felt invisible, like I didn't matter." Another reporter asked, "What would you like to say to the people who judged you?" She gave a small smile. "Maybe next time. Look with your heart, not your eyes." The press conference ended, but the impact was just beginning. Inside the hotel, the manager who threw her out, fired. The receptionist who laughed, gone. The security guard, suspended pending review. Marcus didn't stop there. He met with the entire hotel staff. He stood in front of them, not as a boss, but as a son. "This hotel will no longer judge people by their clothes, their skin, or their age," he said. "Kindness will be our new uniform." He brought in trainers, experts in customer care. He raised salaries. He gave workers time to rest and learn. Because respect wasn't just for guests. It started from the inside. Some staff left. They didn't agree with the changes, but many stayed, and they felt proud for the first time in years. The online world responds. People across the world started sharing stories. A young black man wrote, "They thought I was a delivery guy. I was the keynote speaker." An elderly woman posted, "They made me wait outside. My name was on the building." Each story added more fuel. But this time, it wasn't just fire. It was change. A well-known celebrity tweeted, "Marcus Carter just showed the world how to lead. That's what real power looks like." A billionaire hotel rival posted, "Respect doesn't cost money, but it can build an empire." A promise to keep. Late one evening, Marcus sat with his mother in their family living room. It was small, quiet, and filled with old photos. Photos of her carrying him as a baby, of him graduating, of her clapping proudly in the background. "I want to do something more," Marcus said. "Not just fix this hotel. I want to honor you." She looked at him with soft eyes. "You've already done enough, baby." "No," he said. "Not yet." He opened his notebook and showed her a design. At the top, in bold letters, "The Gloria Room, a VIP lounge for all." "It'll replace the current VIP lounge in this hotel," Marcus explained. "And then we'll open one in every Carter hotel. No one gets in because of money. They get in because they've shown kindness, respect, and heart." His mother covered her mouth, trying not to cry. He smiled. "It's named after you. Gloria Carter, the strongest woman I know." She nodded slowly, wiping her tears. "Just make sure they have good tea." Meanwhile, trouble brews. But while many praised Marcus, not everyone was happy. Inside a dark office, a group of rich investors met. "He's changing too much," one said. "This isn't business, it's personal," another added. "We need to stop him before he ruins everything." They weren't just talking. They were planning. Because not everyone wanted kindness at the center of power. And someone was about to fight back. The grand opening of the Gloria Room was held exactly 1 month after the incident. The hotel lobby looked different now. Brighter, warmer. The staff stood taller. Their uniforms had changed, but more importantly, so had their hearts. A golden plaque hung on the wall near the entrance. "The Gloria Room, a VIP lounge for all. For those who lead with kindness, not status." Marcus stood by the door, dressed in a simple black suit. No tie, no spotlight, just a quiet pride in his heart. Beside him stood his mother, Gloria Carter, wearing a soft lavender dress. Her hair was done, her shoes shined, but her smile was the brightest thing in the room. Guests began walking in. Some rich, some simple, some in wheelchairs, some in old clothes. No one checked their wallets, only their hearts. A little girl walked up to Gloria and said softly, "My grandma says you're very brave." Gloria bent down and hugged her gently. "Tell your grandma she's brave too." The room filled with laughter, with stories, with people who had never been invited to such spaces before, and no one felt out of place. Marcus raised a glass and spoke one last time. This room was built for people like my mother, people who gave everything and asked for nothing, people who deserved to feel seen. He looked at his mother. And Mom, from now on, no one will ever make you wait outside again. She walked over, kissed his cheek, and whispered, "You didn't just build a room, baby. You built a message." As the sun set behind the city, golden light poured through the windows of the Gloria room, and for the first time, it felt like everyone belonged.